Before heading to the video, if you haven't subscribed the channel, do subscribe it and don't forget to click the bell icon for the latest update notification. If you like the video, do like, comment and share. Stay tuned with learnbay.co. Happy learning!
So the idea behind ANOVA is basically, as I've explained, so ANOVA is basically extension of t-test. So ANOVA has basically more than three samples, three or more actually, three or more samples, three or more. Okay, so ANOVA is kind of interesting. So sometimes we use it. ANOVA, analysis of variance, is an analysis tool used in statistics that splits the aggregate variability found inside a data set into two parts: systematic factors and random factors. Okay, the systematic factors have a statistical influence on the given data set, but the random factors do not. Analysts use the analysis of variance test to determine the result that independent variables have on the dependent variables amid a regression study. Okay, so all this is unclear. So let me show you what actually it means. The analysis of variance test is the initial step in analyzing the factors that affect a given data set. Once the analysis of variance test is finished, an analyst performs additional tests on methodical factors that measurably contribute to the dataset's inconsistency. Okay, the analyst utilizes the analysis of variance test results in a F-test to generate additional data that aligns with the proposed regression models. Okay, so let's see one example and see what all this fuss is about. For example, a researcher might test students from multiple colleges to see if the students from one college consistently outperform the other. Also, an R&D researcher might test two different processes of creating a product to see if one process is better than other in terms of cost efficiency, right? So analysis of variance is helpful for testing three or more variables. It is similar to multiple two sample t-test. However, it results in fewer type 1 errors and is appropriate for a range of issues. Okay. Analysis ANOVA groups differences by comparing the means of each group and includes spreading out the variance into diverse sources. So it is employed with subjects, test groups, between groups and within groups. Okay. Now, if you remember t-test, what is your t-test value? T-statistic or t-test in that is basically, what was your numerator? Difference in mean, okay, difference in means actually, means of two population divided by difference within the difference within the samples, Okay, so since you had only two samples, sample 1 and sample 2, so you said, Mani, this is the t value or t statistics that we will get. That is fine. So difference in means divided by difference within them. Now here you have multiple groups. So here you have sample 1, sample 2 and sample 3, right? So if you have two, basically 3 or more, that's what is basically your ANOVA. Okay, so ANOVA is basically similar to multiple two sample t-test. What you can say, this is t-test 1. So I'm doing t-test 1 here. So t-test 1 and I'm doing t-test one more t-test 1. Okay, that sort of structure, right? So if you see here, it is employed within subject, test groups and between groups and within groups. So you'll have more parameters here. So we'll have more parameters here. So I think I need to use one more slide for this. But anyhow, I think 1 second, just give me 1 second, guys. So let's actually see an example so that you guys will understand what is happening. Okay, so let's say we have 3 sample of people at different situations and we are measuring the stress levels. Okay, now let's see how we can use ANOVA here. Okay, now what am I measuring? I'm measuring levels of stress. Okay, now what are the 3 situations? Yeah, we all can relate to now. So the first situation is normal situation in life. Okay, the second situation is the company announces layoffs. The third situation is during layoffs, actual layoffs. Okay, so these are the 3 situations. Now what am I measuring in these 3 situations? I'm measuring the level of stress in these 3 situations. Now what is my sample size here? The sample size is 5 people. Okay, now on normal day their stress levels will be normal, like 2, 3, 4, 7, 5, 6. That's fine. But as soon as everyone hears the message that there is a layoff, then their stress levels will little bit increase. Okay, because they are worried about their job. That is situation 2. What is the third situation? The third situation is actually layoffs are happening to their teammates and their company and whatever. The real thing is happening. Now then you can see the stress levels are even higher. Okay. Now what does ANOVA give you? So ANOVA will basically, so all these are same 5 people, and what we are looking for is the impact of layoff in the form of stress levels at different points of time. Okay. Now there is a procedure for following that I'll explain step by step. Now calculate the sum of squares for each sample individually. That is the variance. Okay. So sum of squares. So what do we do? Basically, we find sum of squares for each sample. Then we find sum of squares within the groups. Then we will find F statistic. So we'll get F value here. We'll get F value here. So till now what we have discussed, for standard normal distribution, you have Z values. Okay. Now for T distribution and T distribution and T test, you have T value. Okay. Now for ANOVA, you'll have F values. Okay. Similar to that, you will have F values. Now I'll explain how all these things are coming. So the next calculation is, the first calculation is basically calculate sum of squares for each group individually. Okay. Sum of squares for each group individually. What is the next step? The next calculation is sum of squares between the groups. So this would consider all the values. Okay, sum of squares between the groups. And what is the next step? The second step is also consider all the samples combined as one large big sample and calculate total sum of squares, right? So total sum of squares. Okay, so this is basically what are your samples, basically 5 here, 5 here, 5 here. So then you combine all of them into 15 sample like this. And what do you find here? Then you find total sum of squares. Okay, variance from the mean. Okay, so let's see this step by step. And then you will calculate the F ratio and see where this falls. Is this falling in your rejection region? And is this falling in your acceptance region? If it is falling in your rejection region, then you will reject your null hypothesis. The null hypothesis is pretty stupid here. The pretty stupid null hypothesis is the mean, the population. So what is your null hypothesis? The mu situation 1, the stress levels in situation 1 will be equal to the stress levels in situation 2 will be equal to the stress levels in situation 3. Mani, this is pretty straightforward. Of course, this looks like, of course, the stress will be different at different layoffs announcements. It doesn't even make sense. But in this example, it might look like, okay, it is not pretty straightforward, since we already know that the levels of stress will increase as the announcements will happen. But in other examples, now what are those other examples? Think of these. So let's say there is a drug number 1, there is drug number 2, okay, and there is drug number 3, right? So most of the times these sort of tests will be done in pharma companies or sort of biological relationship and financial industries. So they can see that, or you can say product number 1, okay, product number 2, and you can say product number 3. So which one has like the maximum hit ratio, like how many people are clicking on the ads, right? So hit ratio, right? So there are so many situations where you can use this hypothesis, but here it is pretty straightforward since we all know what is the answer. It might look counterintuitive, but in real life there are many situations where actually doing this test will give you some more useful information. Okay, so let me show you. So how do you find the sum of squares? So basically, what is your, so let me show you here. So what is your mean? So the mean is basically you add all these values. Okay, you had all these 15 values, and then what is your total sum of squares? So let's say your mean is, let's say 4. Okay, the total sum of squares is given by 2 minus 4 square, 3 minus 4 square, 7 minus 4 square, 2 minus 4 square, right? So how do you find the total sum of squares? Total sum of squares, you first basically consolidate all your values into one big distribution, right? So the total 15 values you got here. What is the second step? The second step is basically find the mean of these values. Let's say the mean comes around to be 4. Now how do you find the total sum of squares? Total sum of squares basically you find by subtracting the mean of this total sum, minus 4, minus 4, minus 4 everywhere, and then you square this, and then you square this result, and then you add all these values, so that is basically your total sum of squares. Okay, that is basically your total sum of squares. Okay, Mani, where is this variance? So this total sum of squares is actually your variance, right? Because what is the formula for variance? Variance is basically x minus, let's say x1 minus x bar square, right? X minus x bar square plus x2 minus x bar square, right? So this is our formula for variance, right? So similarly, like plus dot 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 dot, right? So in case of this also, we will first consolidate all these values, find the mega mean, right? And then subtract it and then square this. So this will give you total sum of squares, right? So similarly, what we will do is we will find all those remaining values. Okay, so total sum of squares comes up to be 257, right? Let me show you actually. Now, what is the formula? The total sum of squares will be equal to sum of squares between the groups plus sum of squares within the groups, right? So this is basically implying that whatever the total information is present, okay, whatever the information, whenever I say information, it is variance. Remember, whenever I say information, it actually means variance. Okay, it actually means variance. Whatever the total variance is present, total sum of squares, it is spread out in two groups, in two forms, which is basically sum of squares between the groups, or the variance between the groups, and variance within the group. Okay, variance within the group. So you can actually calculate this, and then you can figure that out, and that will give you the answer. So let me show you step by step. So how do you find the sum of squares within the groups? Okay, how do you find the sum of squares within the group? Now within the group, you will find the mean of these individual sample. So this is your situation 1. What is the mean of this? The mean of this is basically 4, and then you square these values. Okay, you square these values, you add these values. Okay, so this is basically your sum of square for this situation 1. Similarly, what is the mean value for situation 2? So you basically take these 5 values, the mean will come up to be 8, right? You subtract this 8 here, you square these values, you add this. So basically you get 18. Now what is the mean of this sample or situation 3? Basically you get situation 3 sum is basically 13, mean is 13. You subtract this, square this, and you add this. Okay, now what is your total sum of squares within the groups? Total sum of squares within the group is basically summation of all these 22, 18, and 14. So basically 54. Okay, now as I've mentioned, total sum of squares, so total sum of squares, so sum of squares is equal to sum of squares between the groups plus sum of squares within the groups, right? Now we have found this value, right? So this value is 237. We have found this value, sum of squares within the groups. So this is basically 54. Can you find this value? Yes, so we can find this value. Always in ANOVA, you don't find all these values. So you just calculate this value, you calculate one of these values. So remaining value you can subtract. So this will give you this value. Okay, but for the understanding purposes, I will explain you how this, so total sum of squares I have explained. So you take this 15 values, find the mega mean, subtract this, square this, add this. So that will give you total sum of squares. Sum of squares within the groups you got. So what is the remaining value? So the remaining value is basically your sum of squares between the groups. Okay. Now, actually let's do one thing. So let me take it from tomorrow or Monday. So if I explain in hurry burry, you guys will not understand. But I hope you guys are following through. So let me explain in simple terms. So what we do is we find sum of squares within the groups, we find sum of squares between the groups, then we find total sum of squares. Once we find that, you come up with this what do you call this, rejection region and acceptance region. Then you calculate the F ratio. For calculating the F ratio, you need all these values. For calculating the F ratio, you need these two values, basically sum of squares between the groups, sum of squares within the groups, and then the degrees of freedom. The ratio of both of these will give you F value. Then what you will do, you will assign your critical value as always, and then you will say if it is falling in your rejection region or not. If it is falling in your rejection region, then you reject your null hypothesis. In case of ANOVA, the null hypothesis is the mean of population 1 is equal to mean of population 2 is equal to the mean of population 3. Okay, so that is what we are going to reject. Okay, so this is just a brief idea that I'm giving you guys.